Welcome back, everyone, for a very long overdue episode the Afterlife podcast.
Welcome to the Afterlife!
Hi!
This one took way longer to put together than I was originally anticipating. But here we are, ready to do this. So let's introduce ourselves, shall we?
Well, hello, and welcome back, everyone. I am Sister Jen, one half of this dynamic team, the duo, that brings you more horrors than you can count on one hand.
That makes me Sister Hallie. We obviously are the YouTubers known as Sisters, or maybe not so obviously. I don't know. But we do this when we are compelled to talk about other things besides horror movies, because that is where we do. That is horror movies on YouTube. But we're also joined by our resident Slashhole, Mike.
Hi! Well, this is weird. Where do I look?
Anywhere you want.
There.
It doesn't really matter. It's the beauty thing about a podcast episode.
I'm just going to keep looking at Bob the Gimp.
I'm going to keep looking at Bob, too.
That is, unless you're watching on YouTube, then you have something to look at.
That's not Bob the Gimp.
Beautiful faces.
Moving
Come on, Hallie.
What? There's something beautiful about this shit over here. A pile of dung stacked 5 feet high.
Yeah, well.
Shall we get into this episode?
Yes.
That's right. We put these out on YouTube proper, but they can be found on Spotify and Amazon Music. So make sure if you are listening, listen on those platforms.
Yeah, we haven't done very many episodes because, let's face it, the YouTube channel takes up most of our time.
It does.
But
these are fun to do.
But today we are talking about Illinois urban legends.
Yeah, Illinois urban legends. You see, we all live in Illinois, the three of us, and the other remaining two in the room. And we want to talk about the urban legends that haunt our very state.
Yeah. So we're going to be examining 3 different legends from all over the state of Illinois and weighing on them as we go through the facts of each case.
First, we're going to set the mood with a brief made-up story of each legend. Then we will delve into the facts deeper.
Okay. All right, so shall we all?
Yes.
It is 1944, and you're sitting at home with your family listening to the radio about the war raging in Europe. All of a sudden, you are feeling lightheaded and sick to your stomach. You look around and see that your family is displaying similar symptoms. Shaking your heads as if to shake away the feeling of nausea. Your vision begins to blur, and darkness encloses your senses.
Before you give in to the paralysis you have been fighting, you look out the window and see someone dressed with a gas mask peering in on you and your family. But the paralysis takes you and you pass out on the floor. You have just become the next victim of the Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
Now we jump to 1973, and you hear a rustling sound outside your farmhouse. When you look to see what it could be, you come face to face with a creature that's standing approximately 4 or 5 feet tall, with features similar to an ape, but appears to have 3 legs.
When you open your door with shotgun in hand in an attempt to scare the creature off of your property, it jumps away, but not just a simple hop. No, it leaps about 15 feet in a single bound. You try to take aim, but the creature jumps again and is well out of the range of your shotgun.
It leaps one more time and disappears from your line of sight. And you have just encountered the Enfield Horror.
So you're driving down a long stretch of road in the suburbs of Chicago. It's late at night, no one's really around at all, and all of a sudden you see a lonely figure standing along the side of the road. And as you approach, you see it's a woman dressed in all white.
You pull over and offer her a ride, as she looks like she is completely lost. As you begin to drive with her in the passenger seat, you feel a little uneasy. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you feel almost like a sense of dread wash over you as you're driving. Passenger is silent. Too silent.
And then you're approaching a cemetery. You look over and you see that your passenger is gone. Even though you never even pulled over to let her out, she has simply disappeared. And you have just had an encounter with Resurrection Mary.
Ooh. So all 3 of these stories are urban legends that take place in our wonderful state of Illinois. I actually said it with a straight face. Stretching from the Chicago area all the way down to Enfield. These stories have captivated the imaginations of people from all over the place.
Bringing monster hunters and cryptozoologists to investigate what could possibly be lurking in this weird state of ours. But today we are looking over these three stories and examining the facts of each case of the initial reports. So let us begin with Resurrection Mary.
Yes. So Resurrection Mary is a urban legend that stems from the Chicago, Illinois area. She is the local area's version of what most people in the paranormal community call the Lady in White.
The White Lady, a common figure in urban legends, is often described as a hitchhiking ghost, typically appearing in white clothing and disappearing mysteriously after being given a ride. She is often portrayed as a tragic figure, having met a violent end, and is believed to haunt roadsides in search of a ride back to her resting place.
While the specific details and locations of her hauntings vary, the core element is a ghostly figure in white seeking a lift, only to vanish before reaching her destination.
Yep. Resurrection Mary's story goes that Mary had spent the evening dancing with a boyfriend at the O. Henry Ballroom. At some point, they got into an argument and Mary stormed out. She left the ballroom and started walking up Archer Avenue.
She had not gone far when she was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver who fled the scene, leaving Mary to die. Her parents found her and were grief-stricken at the sight of her dead body. They buried her in Resurrection Cemetery wearing a beautiful white dancing dress and matching dancing shoes. The hit-and-run driver was never found.
Now, some researchers have attempted to link Resurrection Mary to one of the many thousands of burials in Resurrection Cemetery. A particular focus of these efforts has been Mary Bregovi. I hope I spelled that right. Bregovi, who died in 1934. Although her death came in an automobile accident in the downtown Chicago Loop.
In 1999, Chicago author Ursula Bielski documented a possible connection to Anna Maria Norcus, who died in 1927 in an auto accident while on her way home from the O. Henry Ballroom, a theory that has gained popularity in recent years.
But in reality, Resurrection Mary and the vast majority of White Lady sightings can't be linked to any one specific person, because there's just not enough evidence to link any of them to anyone.
Right.
I know that these stories stretch far across our country. This is our particular localized one that's like from the Chicago area, even though we're not near Chicago. But
I mean, I'll be honest, we have one even closer. Not exactly like this, but we have Old Church Road out off of, it's like kind of
Bell Church Road?
No, Stone Church.
Stone Church Road.
Church Road, yeah.
So it's like if you go up Farmington Road, keep going out.
Yeah,
like you're going towards
I used to live
Farmington.
out there.
Yeah, I know. So my sister told me when and again, these are stories that like
Urban
get
legends.
passed down through, like, you know, my sister told me this because she heard it from so and so's older brother and blah blah blah. So she told me one night it was out near that area, not directly on Stone Church Road, but they were on a road near there and they had gotten to the bottom of this hill and their car died. Get out of the car and try to figure out what's going on, and couldn't get the car to start, and they saw like a person walking up the road, and as they got closer and closer, like they could see the silhouette and then they just disappeared. So like the story of seeing a ghostly figure on the side of the road, regardless of whether it's Resurrection Mary, like that spreads all over, because let's be honest, lots of people have died by getting hit on the side of the road,
or even died near a road that their spirit is linked to that specific location and will be seen walking the property itself.
Exactly. I mean, I know I've never personally encountered anything on the side of the road, not like that. I've definitely witnessed a lot of strange things driving around in the country roads out here in Peoria.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been chased by stuff out the country.
Yeah.
I mean, I've experienced hitchhiking ghosts, but there's normally 3 of them, and they're like as I'm leaving the haunted mansion, and oh, wait a minute, wrong kind of hitchhiking ghosts. Sorry.
This one.
This old Disney nerd here.
This Giz nerd here.
Absolutely. All right. So, where I put Resurrection Mary to bed.
I think she's a really interesting character. I think it's really cool that it's something that is widespread across
Oh, yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
I'm sure it goes outside of our country too. I'm sure there's tales very similar to
100% it does go outside of our country, but we're focusing on Illinois.
Yes.
Means that we're a little bit like everybody else.
I would love to meet someone, talk to someone who has actually experienced Resurrection Mary in that location.
Right.
You know,
Right.
surely there's people, if you're listening and you know anything, like, we will do another podcast just with that. We'll voice you in. If you've got stories about Resurrection Mary, please let us know.
Or you can send them to us and then we
could read them out loud for you. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'm happy to go into more detail about any of these cryptids. If you've got stories, we want to know them.
Absolutely. So let's move on. It's the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, also known as the anesthetic prowler.
Oh, what a name.
Or the
anesthetic prowler.
Phantom anesthetist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, say that one 3 times fast. Or simply the Mad Gasser, which I've been called a couple of times. Was the name given to an event of alleged mass hysteria in which person or people allegedly committed a series of apparent gas attacks in Mattoon, Illinois, during the mid-1940s.
Yeah, more than 24 separate cases of gassings were reported to police over the span of 2 weeks, in addition to many more reporting sightings of the suspected assailant. The Gasser's supposed victims reported smelling strange odors in their homes, which were soon followed by symptoms such as paralysis of the legs, coughing, nausea, and vomiting. No one died or had serious medical consequences as a result of the gas attacks.
Police remained skeptical of the accounts throughout the entire incident. Many reported gassings and had simple explanations such as spilled nail polish or odors emanating from animals or local factories.
Okay, but that happens all the time. Sorry, guys.
Oh, and we're talking about the 40s too, so how much did they really know about carbon monoxide and
true.
radon and all that stuff? But victims made quick recoveries from their symptoms and suffered no long-term effects. Nevertheless, local newspapers ran alarmist articles about the reported attacks and treated the accounts as fact.
Sounds like some kind of ramped up fake news. Weird how facts can become not facts anymore. No, I'm not.
We're not going there.
No, we are not going there, but it is interesting to see how the media plays into...
No, it's interesting how media takes and twists things.
Yeah.
That
this happened in what, the 70s?
40s.
So, this is the 40s. Yeah.
40s.
So hello. It's not a new thing for the media to...
Oh no, it was
spin a story.
No, if anything, it's better now. There's actually a little bit of fact checking now.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Anyways, although the explanation that the reports were only a case of mass hysteria is widely accepted, others maintain that a Mad Gasser actually existed.
Most contemporary descriptions of the Mad Gasser are based on the testimony of Mr. and Mrs. Bert Kearney of 1408 Marshall Avenue, the victims of the first Mattoon case to be reported by the media. They described the Gasser as being tall, thin man dressed in dark clothing and wearing a tight-fitting cap.
Another report made some weeks later described the Gasser as being a female dressed as a man. The Gasser had also been described as carrying a flint gun, an agricultural tool used for spraying pesticides. You've seen them in the cartoons. They got the can on them. And it was whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, which he purportedly used to expel the gas.
Okay. The first of the 1944 Gasser incidents occurred at a house on Grant Avenue in Mattoon on August 34th, 1944.
31st.
Oh, sorry, 31st. August 34th?
Yeah.
The dyslexia kicks in every once in a while. I can't really read.
August 31st, 1944.
1944.
The rest of us call that September
3rd. I can read words, no problem. You give me numbers and I'm like... Irvin Rafe was awakened during the early hours of the morning by a strange odor. He felt nauseated and weak and suffered from a fit of vomiting.
Suspecting that he was suffering from domestic gas poisoning, Rafe's wife wanted to check the kitchen stove to see if there was a problem with the pilot light, but found that she was partially paralyzed and unable to leave her bed. We also have to take in consideration that this is the mid-40s, so World War II was going on. Yeah. There was that scare.
Paranoia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, later that night, some contemporary accounts refer to the time as the morning of the following day. A similar incident was also reported by a young mother living close by. She was awakened by the sound of her daughter coughing, but found herself unable to leave her bed.
The next day, on September 1st, there was a third reported incident. Aline Kearney of Marshall Avenue, Mattoon, reported smelling a strong, sweet odor at around 11 p.m.
At first, she dismissed the smell, believing it to be from flowers outside of her window, but the odor soon became stronger and she began to lose feeling in her legs. Kearney panicked, and her calls attracted her sister, Mrs. Reddy, who was in the house at the same time.
Now, Mrs. Reddy also noticed the odor and determined that it was coming from the direction of the bedroom window, which was open at the time. Police were contacted, but no evidence of a prowler was found. At around 12:30 a.m., Bert Kearney, Eileen Kearney's husband, a local taxi driver who had been absent during the time of the attacks, returned home to find an unidentified man hiding close to one of the house's windows.
Yeah. I mean, creepers, right? The man fled, and Kearney was unable to catch him. Kearney's description of the prowler was of a tall man dressed in dark clothing, wearing a tight-fitting cap. This description was reported to the local media and became the common description of the gasser throughout the Mattoon incident. After the attack, Eileen Kearney reported suffering from a burning sensation of her lips and throat, which were attributed to the effects of the gas.
Initially, it was suspected that robbery was the primary motive for the attacks. At the time of the incidents, the Kearneys had a large sum of money in the house, and it was summarized that the prowler could have been Eileen Kearney and her sister could have seen.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Yeah, dyslexia happens here.
Oh my God, it's catching.
No, it's contagious.
It is
So
contagious. Eileen Kearney and her sister counting it earlier that evening. Local newspapers incorrectly reported this incident as being the first gasser attack.
Right. In the days following the Kearneys' attack, there were half a dozen similar attacks, though none of the purported victims were able to provide a clear description of the prowler, and no clues were found at the scene of the attacks. The first specimen of physical evidence was found on the night of September 5th, when Carl and Beulah Cordes of North 21st Street returned home around 10 p.m.
Can I just say I love the name Beulah?
Beulah. Beulah.
So I
Beulah.
have a great grandma named Beulah, and I always just thought it was such a neat name.
I can't do it. All I can think of is Beulah Ballbricker from Porky's.
All right.
There was a mole.
After spending a few minutes in the house, they noticed a piece of white cloth, slightly larger than a man's handkerchief, sitting on their porch next to the screen door. Beulah picked up the cloth and smelled it. As soon as she inhaled, she became violently ill. She described the effect as being similar to an electric shock. Her face quickly began to swell, and she experienced a burning sensation in her mouth and throat, and then began to vomit.
Okay, hang on. Why? You walk up on your porch, you see a random rag, and you put it up to your face. I mean, there are
Chloroform.
Yeah.
or cum rag, whatever.
Either way, like, why would you pick something up on your porch that you don't know what it is
And
put it
sniff
up
it.
to your face and sniff it?
But sometimes when you get really nervous, that's bad. Okay,
Like that.
sorry.
As with other victims, she also reported feeling weak and experiencing partial paralysis of her legs. Beulah Cordes later hypothesized that the cloth had been left on the porch in order to knock out the family dog, which usually slept there, so that the prowler could gain access to the house unnoticed.
Okay, that makes sense. But still, why would you pick that shit up? That's stupid.
So in addition to the cloth, a skeleton key described as looking well used was reportedly found on the sidewalk adjacent to the porch, along with a large, almost empty tube of lipstick. The cloth was analyzed by the authorities, but they found no chemicals on it that could explain Beulah Cordes' reaction.
Mass hysteria!
Yeah. That same night, a second incident was reported, this time in North 13th Street, at the home of Mrs. Leonard Burrell. She reported seeing a stranger break in through her bedroom window and then attempt to gas her.
Public concern over the alleged gassings quickly rose. The FBI became involved, and the local police issued a statement calling on residents to avoid lingering in residential areas and warning that groups set up to patrol for the gasser should be disbanded for reasons of public safety, i.e.
Lynch
vigilante justice.
Yeah. You're just going to make things worse.
Yes. Yeah. Chief of Police C.E. Cole also warned concerned citizens to exercise due restraint when carrying or discharging firearms, because that's how accidents happen.
Yeah, because you see somebody like, oh, they're dressed in all dark and they were wearing a tight cap. It's him! It's the gasser!
I
Kill him!
That statement just reminds me of, I think it's Halloween
Kills.
5. No, 5.
Oh.
5, when vigilante justice is being dispensed. So a group of hicks literally load up in a pickup truck. They see something moving in the bushes. They open fire, and it happens to be a friend of theirs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, a group of hicks in the middle of Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Coincidence?
also in Halloween Kills, the vigilante justice, so that evil dies tonight, and they chase that.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah. Yep.
And the one chick brought an iron. But I digress. Anyway, so during this period, there was also an increase in physical evidence of attacks being reported, ranging from footprints allegedly being discovered underneath windows to tears being found in window screens.
I mean, by September 12th, we're 2 weeks into this, right? Or pretty close to. Started on the 31st, we're on the 12th. So we're like 13 days in here. Local police had received so many false alarms, mostly from citizens believing that they smelled gas or that they had seen a prowler, which, like, again, mass hysteria, that they reduced the priority afforded to gasser reports and announced that the entire incident was likely the result of explainable occurrences exacerbated by public fears and the sign of the anxiety felt by women while local men were on war service. Which, like, I get it. But, like, something was going on.
Well, there had to be something to kick it off,
Yes.
unless it was somebody just desperately seeking attention. I know that a lot of UFO sightings and UFO abductee stories are a lot of people just trying to get attention.
Yeah, but I think there's also a lot more legitimacy to them now.
No, I'm not saying
for
that
a long
there isn't.
time that, like, this has been happening. Like, when it comes to, like, UFOs and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm sorry. They're not called UFOs anymore.
No, I still call them
Dude, seriously though, if there's alien life out there, they're going past Earth and like locking the windows.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we're not gonna stop it.
or at least past America.
Right.
Yeah. Like, nah, we good, man. That one looks messy.
You know, so the town where I live in Market Heights, is pretty much built on top of coal mines.
Yeah.
And so this very well could have been an issue of that, because there were a lot of issues with gases and things like that coming out of these coal mines.
Yeah.
So if is something that was relatively explainable, because I know there are mines all over the state of Illinois.
Yeah, for sure. Especially back in the 40s.
Right. So either that or they're all just batshit crazy.
I mean, that theory that all of these women were suffering from anxiety is very valid. Not necessarily that it can create mass hysteria. You know, I mean, it really can. We saw what happened in Salem.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not completely out of
The realm of
possibility.
Right.
But I do believe that someone, whether it was just somebody that was prowling around, kicked it off, and then maybe it just folded into more and more.
I think it may have been somebody, bug guy, exterminator.
Or just a peeping Tom being weird.
There's that too. But after the police announcement, gasser reports declined. The only incident of arguable note after that date was the case of Bertha Birch, who claimed she saw a gasser who was a woman dressed as a man. That's where that ends.
How did you know it was a woman dressed like a man?
Yeah.
Tits.
So? I know plenty of men with tits.
Yeah, I have tits.
In the 40s?
Yeah. There were fat people in the 40s.
Yeah. Dude with a solid C cup. Like, come on, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right, we were able to put the gasser to bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I guess so.
Sounds like me.
I really do. Like,
Let's send him to the chamber.
Yeah, send him to the chamber.
My theory is that started with someone mistaking someone.
Misidentifying
someone and getting freaked out. Which, like, I can get that. Like, shit. Or it could have just been somebody fucking around. Like, I was telling Bob the Gimp. I can't call you that. I was telling Bob that my sister and I used to fuck around with each other and like try to scare each other. And one night it was Friday the 13th. And it was like a few months after my husband had passed away. And I was by myself at the house. Olive was in bed, and I posted a picture on Facebook of like a glass of wine and Jason on the TV in the background. I'm like, perfect way to spend my Friday the 13th. And not 10 minutes later did I start hearing tapping on my windows. And I was like, what was that? And I like got up and looked around, couldn't find anything, and there was tap on another window. I'm like, what the fuck was that? My fucking sister she had this old machete that wasn't really sharpened. It was like the shape of a machete, but still metal and stuff, you know? And she was walking around with a Jason mask on, dragging it on my windows and tap, tap, tap. And eventually, I did catch her. Like, I caught her in the window. I was like, you bitch! And just started screaming at her. So, I mean, it could have started out as just, like, somebody just trying to fuck with someone. And then it snowballed
Escalated.
into so much more than what it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of coulda, woulda, shouldas on this.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been, why was there a guy outside the house when I came? Oh, must have been the gasser.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly it was the gasser.
Sure, it was a gasser.
Yeah.
It wasn't maybe somebody just stopping by for a little.
Why is this man in our bushes? I don't know him. Why are his clothes in your room? I don't know.
He just
must
got
have
out of
come
one
in and
bush.
just like took his clothes off. It's the weirdest thing.
Man, jumped in one bush, jumped in the other. Maybe it was the 40s. Let's remember.
Good point.
Merkin. All right. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about the weirdest one on this list.
Since we're already going
like
south
an
anyway.
actual cryptid. Like we're in cryptid level here, you guys.
Yeah.
So
this is about the only cryptid I could actually find that
In Illinois,
yeah.
that like actually is an Illinois cryptid. All right, let's talk about it, guys. You know I love cryptids.
Enfield Horror.
Ooh. So at about 10 p.m. on the night of April 25th, 1973, Henry McDaniel heard a scratching sound at his front door. He looked out and saw something that he thought might be a bear. Taking a gun and flashlight, he headed outside into a strong wind and saw a creature between two rose bushes. But real quick, do we have bears in Southern Illinois?
Bears beats.
Bears.
Battlestar
I mean,
Galactica.
I know there's bears in Chicago. At least for a little while.
I mean, okay, so let's think about this.
Bears.
Maybe we should Google this. Let's do that.
To the Googles.
But think about it. Like, why would Chicago be called the Bears if we didn't have bears in Illinois?
Bears used to inhabit all
Most
these
of
states.
the northern,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Occasionally they will migrate through the area, but as far as like living here, not really. No.
No, not really. I mean, I know some bears, but not
Not that kind of
bear.
Mm.
Rawr. Anyway, whatever you do, whenever you're
I'm finding out.
surveys it.
Black bears were historically native to Illinois, but were eliminated by the late 1800s. But that's about it.
Okay.
There is no current breeding population, but they are considered a protected species. Young male black bears occasionally wander into Illinois from neighboring states like Wisconsin and Missouri, and recent sightings reported in 2024 and 2025. So we don't have them necessarily native to Illinois, but they can be here.
They can migrate through.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
So, all right. So he later said that this bear had 3 legs, a short body, 2 little short arms, and had 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood about 4.5 feet tall and was grayish colored. He added later that it was almost like a human body. Okay, so a bear. Yeah.
Tripod. McDaniel fired 4 shots at the creature, 1 shot hitting it and causing it to make a hiss, much like a wildcat's before fleeing towards a nearby railway embankment, covering 50 feet in 3 mere jumps.
Whoa, that 3-legged creature he's got ups for a 4-foot creature.
Which is why a lot of people thought it might have been an escaped kangaroo.
Nah.
McDaniel called the local authorities, who discovered footprints in the soft earth near his house, which McDaniel described as dog-like in shape with 6 toe pads.
So the police considered McDaniel to be a rational and sober in his reporting of the incident. In a later press interview, McDaniel said, if they do find it, they will find more than one, and they won't be from this planet. I can tell you that.
Investigators interviewing nearby residents were told that Greg Garrett, a 10-year-old neighbor of McDaniel, claimed to have encountered the creature half an hour before McDaniel did, and that the creature had stepped on his feet, tearing his tennis shoes to shreds. The boy later told Western Illinois University researchers that his report was a hoax to tease Mr. M and have fun with the out-of-town newsman.
Little bastard.
Podcast, bitch.
2 weeks later, on May the 6th, McDaniel called the radio station WWKI, claiming to have seen the creature again at 3 a.m. that morning. It was negotiating the trestles of the railroad tracks near his home, and McDaniel said, I saw something moving out on the railroad track, and there it stood. I didn't shoot it at it or anything. It started on down the railroad track. It wasn't in a hurry or anything.
Yeah. I think somebody's been maybe making a little bit of bathtub gin.
Yeah, I mean, they described him as being sober, but who knows, man.
Right.
Some of these were wild.
I was going to say, it was the 70s. So, search party, including WWKI's news director, Rick Rainbow.
Rick Rainbow.
Rick Rainbow in the morning.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Explored the area later that day and reported observing an ape-like creature standing in an abandoned building near McDaniel's house. They claimed to have made a recording of the creature's cries and fired a shot at it before it fled. Cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman investigated the case and the sound recordings.
2 days later, a day after McDaniel was interviewed on local radio, the local press reported that police were called to investigate reports of gunfire and arrested 5 young men from out of town who had come to Enfield in order to photograph the creature, carrying shotguns and rifles for protection, the men having claimed to have sighted the creature. Again, here we are,
with
vigilante justice and lynch mobs and danger, like really causing
Danger,
more,
Will Robinson. Danger,
really
danger.
causing more danger to the community than what this supposed creature could possibly.
Alleged.
Right.
The White County Sheriff dismissed reports of this monster hunting expedition as exaggeration, saying that the men were just out drinking and raising hell.
Sounds like fun.
That's a quote, by the way. Mentioning the monster only briefly during questioning. The men were charged with hunting violations.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess they were hunting a creature.
I guess, but be more like illegal discharge of a firearm.
Yeah.
Which is probably what they were charged with, as
probably.
opposed to like hunting violations.
Right.
Yeah.
So the incidents were reported widely in the press at the time. It appeared in newspapers throughout the state. And on April 27th, 1973, and on May 7th, there was an interview on radio station WGN in Chicago, and articles in the Chicago Daily News, the Moline Dispatch, Champaign-Urbana Courier, and the Alton Telegraph.
I mean, that covers the whole damn state, right?
Pretty
Right.
much, yeah.
You know,
Minus
Alton's down by
Peoria.
St. Louis.
Oh, and I tell you what, you want to talk about? Let's dig in deep.
Yeah.
We can talk about Alton for.
Oh yeah, right. Devil's Staircase.
Oh, everything in Alton. There's so much cool stuff in Alton.
Right.
We should do an episode on Alton.
Word.
There were earlier articles in the Carmi Times, and an updated summary of the events appeared in Pennsylvania's Reading Eagle in August 1973. After the arrest of the 5 men who had arrived to hunt the creature, residents of Enfield expressed fears that press coverage would lead to further monster hunters who might inadvertently shoot citizens or livestock. Again, like I said, more danger.
Mm-hmm. It was suggested that the creature may have been an escaped kangaroo, as I pointed out earlier.
I mean, as soon as you said that earlier, I was like, oh, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Short arms, yeah.
Right. From a nearby zoo, which would explain the 3 legs description, as the tails of kangaroos look like a 3rd leg.
Yeah.
McDaniel was adamant that the creature wasn't no kangaroo, which is
What? That wasn't no kangaroo.
Which is a double negative, which means it was a kangaroo.
It was a kangaroo.
Having owned such a creature as a pet while on military service in Australia.
He did not have a pet kangaroo. Nobody has pet kangaroos. Those things are vicious.
And noting that kangaroos have narrow faces and tracks that leave claw marks.
Okay. Fair.
Fair. So, following media coverage of the creature, an Ohio man contacted a local newspaper stating that the creature may have been his pet kangaroo, Macy,
Maybe.
which had been lost or stolen a year previously.
Oops. A few days after the event, United Press International quoted an anthropology student who suggested that the creature may have been a wild ape, noting that such animals had been reported throughout the Mississippi area since 1941. A wild ape.
So what do we think? Is this a mistaken creature, a non-documented cryptid, or, mass hysteria again?
I think the sightings were definitely probably mostly fake. I think that the original sighting, he probably saw something, and then just his own hysteria probably led to more of that. I would agree that it always gets blown up by media.
Mm-hmm.
Media picks it up, and that's what really.
So here's an interesting little tidbit. There was actually another creature called the Mount Vernon monster. Between the years of 1941 and 1942, there was a string of similar sightings in the small town village of Mount Vernon, which is ironically less than 40 miles away from Enfield. These encounters involved a mysterious leaping beast that terrorized the local people and is supposedly responsible for numerous animal deaths and mutilations in the region.
Interesting. The locals called the creature the Mount Vernon monster and described it as being vaguely baboon-like in appearance. There we go, with an ape.
Yeah.
Okay. And able to leap anywhere from 20 to 40 feet in a single bound. He did say earlier that it went 50 feet in 3 jumps.
Mm-hmm.
However, this creature is likened more to the devil monkey than the Enfield monster. But it is a possibility that this was, in fact, the same creature from Enfield.
And there you have it. 3 urban legends that surround or inhabit our little neck of the woods, so to speak.
Yes. But as Mike said, there's definitely some interest, not necessarily cryptids and sightings like that, but there's some other interesting things in Illinois, including in Alton.
Especially in Alton.
Especially in Alton.
Yeah, well, I mean, anywhere you go, there's going to be some type of weird ghost stories and stuff like that. And if you have any stories that you want to send to us, be sure to send them over to the/sisters@gmail.com or reach out to us on our socials, DM us directly on Facebook or Instagram, and we will, as long as you're okay with us telling your story, we will tell that story.
Yeah, if you have any stories, especially related to these 3 stories that we just talked about, we would love to hear what you've got to say, because I don't know anybody firsthand that has knowledge of this. And the
Enfield Horror, we're talking 50
1970s.
years.
Yeah, and the 40s, that's most of those people are likely dead or very old by now. However, those stories get passed down to grandkids and kids and everything else. So,
true.
If you've got a story from your family, please reach out to us. We would love to hear it and love to share it. And with that, we bid you all a wonderful day or night, depending on when you are listening to this lovely little podcast. And we promise to try not to let this happen again, where we let the time slip away from us.
Oh, was that so bad, Mike?
No, that's fun. I still don't know where to look. Keep looking at
anywhere you want.
Keep looking at Bob the Gimp.
Yeah.
That weird with his weird gimp hand.
Take the strong hand.
Not the weak hand. Take the strong hand.
You guys, that's my fiance, okay?
Now we know why that hand's so deformed.
And on that psychotic note, we will see you all in the next afterlife.